Hi, my name is Clif Tinker and I'm a professional artist and a high school art teacher, and this is Plática. Well, I started doing art when I was on the high school newspaper, and I was a writer and editor. I had to get illustrations and cartoons and photos for the paper, and my artistic friends wouldn't do all of it, because they didn't want to do my cartoons, and I've always loved cartoons. So they said, you just have to learn how to draw. So I started doing it, and it was through cartooning for the newspaper and that I got into art, and then I just kept working at it, and eventually I went to art school, and I was inspired by Matisse and the French artists, especially all the people with the bright colors from France, and also the Mexican art. I grew up mostly in California and Texas, so I'm very influenced by Mexican art. And I got my master's degree at UTSA in art history in Mexican art. So those things. Well, I grew up my ancestors came through Massachusetts and Minnesota, England and the British Isles, and the Scandinavian countries primarily. And so I have a lot of that influence early on. We ended up with living in California and Texas later in my life, starting in junior high and through college and everything. So I have a mix of that European influence and the Scandinavians especially, and also I had lots of influence from Mexican art and culture when I moved to California and Texas. I'm not a Latino artist, I'm not a Chicano artist, but I've absorbed a lot of those influences by living in California and Texas. So combining my interest in the bright colors from Impressionism through Post-Impressionism and into the modern 20th century work, and also the Latin American experience of all the bright colors. Those are my influences. My favorite thing about San Antonio art is that it seems to be more soulful than a lot of other places. There's a real deep, rich heritage of the mix of cultures that are here, and it seems like art is integrated into the life of San Antonio so much. You see it on murals all over the city, and you see restaurants decorated, and art is just part of everything that's going on here. So if you look at my artwork, you can see the influences that I was talking about. I use a lot of cactus, I use scenes of San Antonio, I did a Fiesta wreath bag. For H-E-B, I designed 6 bags for them. They sold 467,000 bags over the years since 2010. And they did a lot of other products too. They did about 50,000 other things, cups and bowls and aprons and so forth. And you can see it's scenic stuff, the local scenery. I'm very influenced by the Riverwalk and the things that you see in San Antonio and the Pearl and all the stuff that's going on. And I have do a lot of roosters and other things that are typical in Mexican art especially. I can still claim it because, I've been influenced by it since 1968. I've been living around it, so I've absorbed a lot of those influences. Yes, I love what Centro Cultural Aztlán is doing because they're promoting the Latin American, Chicano, Latino art, and it's a big focus that's been neglected, and it's a chance to celebrate the rich contributions of the Latin American community here. And so I really think they're doing a good job, and they're persisting. I was actually part of a Chicano art show 20 years ago or something with Centro Cultural Aztlán. I was invited to do one piece. Even not even being a Chicano, but I was glad to be included. So I think that they're doing a great job promoting a lot of artists. Well, I did I was one of the teachers. Our teachers invited to be part of the Chicano art curriculum project, and I interviewed 4 different Chicano artists here in town and presented and got their input and they helped me design lessons around their art, and I presented to my kids in my high school classes that I teach and at Madison High School. And then we had an art show here at Central Cultural Salon. I was very successful. A lot of people attended. It got well received, and the kids really responded. And the artists that I worked with were very happy with what the kids came up with. They felt like they really understood what their meaning of their art or the emphasis of their art was. So I thought that was an excellent thing. I just think that it's great that you have a wide variety of shows. You know, you have the Virgin of Guadalupe show, you have all kinds of things going on. So. Well, my whole goal with my art is to uplift people and make them happier. When I first, or early on, when I was learning how to draw and paint and so forth, one of my early art teachers, Arthur Dway, taught me to put my hand on my heart and my other hand on my artwork, and to ask for a prayer of love that I'm doing this with love and all of my energy and full commitment of my attention to try to uplift people who see this, and that's my goal with what I'm doing. Get educated. And this is emphasized by Harvey R. Garza, one of the artists I worked with who has had a longest association with Central Cultural Salon. And I was in a show that he sponsored down in Corpus Christi many years ago about saints. And he said, get educated. I thought, and that's what I tell the kids too. I am an educator. I'm a high school teacher. I teach art. Go ahead and get your college degree. Get fully trained as an artist. Some people say, well, I just want to do this one little area or something. That's great if you want to do that area, but get fully trained, and there's good colleges around it. Go to San Antonio College, go to TTSA, and so forth. Incarnate Word has a good program, and there's lots of good programs around. Get your college training, and it's important to have a college degree and training in something, no matter what you're going to do. Now, if some people go the community college route and they get their associates, like from SAC, in graphic design. And that's a very prized degree. People get a job right away, right out of SAC with that. So get trained in something. But if you're going to do art, get trained in your art and learn the photography, learn the digital art stuff with the Photoshop and all the computer stuff. Learn how to draw and paint and sculpt. Learn the whole process. All the way, be comprehensive in your training. Some of my other projects, I was hired by the San Antonio Library to do their official 100th anniversary poster, and I had to work with the library staff, and the library board had to approve it, and the Friends of the Library were paying for it. So the process of getting, it was a long process. Be patient sometimes. It took 9 months to do that poster, and they had me do changes and cut out pieces and do new stuff with it, and you have to be, when you're working for someone prominent like the library or the Spurs or people like that, then you have, or HEB or whoever, you have to be able to work with them. Be flexible. Don't say, oh, this is my thing. Just say, okay, well, how can I work with you and make this work? And that's how it worked. And the poster was very successful. They sold like 3,000 posters, and they had a huge reception. I got hundreds of people to come, and my parents were there. It was a great night. So I'm really happy with that poster, and the library has a copy of the poster in all the public libraries. Back when the Spurs were getting ready to move into the Alamo Dome, they were having someone they wanted some banners to enclose the upper rafters and to cosify the whole arena. And the artist that they had working for them doing it was missing meetings and turning up with things incomplete and so forth. And so I'm sorry for them, but I got the good luck of being selected as the alternate artist, and they looked at my stuff, and I designed 80,000 square feet of banners that decorated the Alamo Dome for the San Antonio Spurs. And they were very successful, and they actually hung up in the dome many years after they were out of there, but they turned the black side in to enclose the upper deck. But it was in their Spurs when they had their Fiesta colors. And people asked me about that. I said, well, it's like confetti from Fiesta, and it's the motion of the basketball players in the arena, and it kind of ties all that stuff together. And it ended up being the largest fabric art in Texas. Following up, I don't have the poster here, but the Spurs hired me when they won their second championship to design a poster for their season ticket holders, and they did 4,000 of those posters. And I spent 2 full days in their boardroom signing all the posters. So that was nice. So I got to work with the Spurs again. And because of all these big projects that I've done, the library, the Friends of the San Antonio Library gave me their 2018 Arts and Letters Award. And I gave a slideshow there, and my dad was there, and my family and friends, and it was very nice. And I feel very honored that they chose me as supposed to be a career summation award, even though my career's not over yet. So.